Hey guys, let's take a look at lesson 98, getting pretty close here to 100, right? Getting there. Okay. More geometry. Let's take a look. This is what you need to memorize today. We'll very briefly go over it, but make sure you know the reason and make sure you memorize what we're going to tell you in a second, okay? If you have a triangle, all the angles inside are called the interior angles. These angles, like right here and one outside there and one outside here, those are called exterior angles, all right? If you were to, let's say you're a person, you're turning, and that's a triangle, you're doing you're starting here, you're making one, you're changing, you're going this way, you're going that way, you're turning 3 times, and you end up exactly where you were before. Remember, if you start at something and you go all the way around, that's 360 degrees, right? Okay, so 3 turns, and like in a triangle, all the way around 360 degrees means that you'd turn like that, you'd turn like this, you'd turn like that 3 times to go 360 degrees. It doesn't mean you're going to go exactly the same each turn, but let's say you did. If you did that, on average, you go 360 divided by 3 is 120 degrees. So each one of these exterior angles, we could say, just for the sake of argument, is 120, right? 120 there, 120 there, 120 there. Okay, now that means, what is the measure of this angle, that angle, and this angle? If it's 120 and you go all the way here, that's going to be 180, right? It's a straight line. So that'll be 60. 180 minus 120, that's going to be a 60. That'll be a 60. So that'll be a 60. All the interior angles add up to something. Same thing for a quadrilateral. I guess by same, I mean different. Okay? Let's say you're a person, you're facing this way, you make a right turn, you make another right turn, you make another right turn, and another right turn. 4 turns this time, right? You go 360 degrees total, right? But this time, it takes you 4 turns. Well, that's going to be 36 divided by 4 is 9, so it'll be 90. All right? So in other words, here you are, and you're turning the exterior angle, and you're turning again, and you're turning again, and you're turning again, and so on. What is the average of those angles? Well, the average is 90, okay? Now look at this. Let's pretend they're all 90. And you can even visualize a square. And you know that each one of these interior angles is 90 degrees, right? And the one that goes right by it is also 90 because both of those add up to 180. The point is, the measure of the inside angles, the interior angles of a quadrilateral, a 4-sided figure, all add up to something. And the measure of all 3 interior angles of a triangle add up to something as well. Well, what is it? You probably figured out, okay? Interior of a triangle is 180. Make sure you know that. Write it down. Interior of a quadrilateral is 360. In other words, here's your 60 plus 60 plus 60 in this one. That's 180. This one is 90, 90, 90, 90. That's 360. Okay? That is a rule. Doesn't matter what the triangle looks like. It could be a right triangle. Could be a scalene triangle. We don't care. All we know is any triangle on Earth, the measure of all 3 of those angles in the triangle adds up to 180 degrees. If it's a quadrilateral of any kind, it can be a parallelogram, rectangle, square, both of those, whatever. It can be something weird looking that fits none of those descriptions whatsoever. Doesn't matter. The interior angles of a quadrilateral will add up to be 360 degrees, which is twice a triangle. Okay, there we go. We're going to use that information to solve problems. Okay, let's look at this. What's the measure of angle A right here in triangle ABC? Well, a triangle interior angles add up to 180. We have 60 here, we have 70 here. Well, whatever 60 plus 70 is, well, we know it's 130. And I'm going to subtract that from 180. My answer is 50, then A must be 50 degrees. That's it, okay? Is a quadrilateral. Now that looks nothing like a triangle or a parallelogram or a square or whatever. It's still it's still a quadrilateral because it has 4 sides, right? It's 4 straight sides. Well, what's the measure of angle T? Okay, well, this is it right here. Well, we know that all the interior angles of a quadrilateral add up to 360. So all we need to do is add all 3 of these angles up, and we get 270. Well, we know the entire thing is 360, so we just subtract 270 from 360, 90 degrees. That's the measure of angle T. Boom, there we go. Okay. All right, knowing that, try your practice problems and come on back and pause it right now. When you're finished, come on back. All right, very quickly, A is 180. Obviously, those three make up the triangle. B, same thing, right? There's also another triangle. So triangle, interior angles, 180. Okay. C, any quadrilateral is 360. So it doesn't matter. All of them together. Okay. D, what's the measure of angle P? It's 75 because it's 180 total. 75 plus 30 is 105. 180 minus 75 is 105. Okay. E, interior angle of a regular quadrilateral. Well, that's going to be 90. A regular quadrilateral means that, it could be something like this, like a square. All right, there we go. Okay. The whole thing adds up to 360. Divide by 4, 90. Now, F is an interesting one, okay? Here, you pretend you're Elizabeth, okay? Here you are. You're starting here. You go around the park. You go 1, 2, 3, 4, and then whoop, you're back where you started from, okay? Well, you went 360, right? You did 360. How many turns did you make? You made 5. 360 divided by 5 is 72. That's all there is to it, okay? Doesn't mean every single, one is 72 degrees. It just means the average is 72. And there you go. Okay. Make sure you memorize those two things. Inside of a triangle is 180. Inside of a quadrilateral, 360. We'll talk about other shapes a little bit later. So, all right. See you guys next time. Take care.